Hello again, everyone. So in today's video, as promised, we are going to be working on the chests, and before we can do that, we need to do two things. Number one, you need to go into the description of the video and find the link that I've put there. It's to Shawn Spalding's video on text boxes, because text boxes are important if you want to use chests. Specifically, we're going to be using this text box system, and once you have followed the video's instructions to the letter, then come on back here and I will show you exactly what you need to do to make the system just slightly better, in my opinion anyway. It is a completely optional change, or it might be mandatory for you. The point is, I know that it works the way that I have set it up, so go ahead and follow the video and then come back here and I'll show you that. Okay, so hopefully you have followed the video's instructions. I haven't set up my object text yet, but I'm going to do that off screen. But anyways, the only thing that you need to change to the script is the box width here, because the way that we're going to be doing it is we need this thing to be filling the width of the screen at the bottom of the screen. So just change the box width to view, and I gotta change this myself. View W view, and then view current, and then -1. This will allow the text box to fill the width of the screen, like I said, at the bottom. So that's the only change that you need to make, and I will be right back to set up my object text, and then we will get on with the chest tutorial. Okay, so now that I have my object text set up, hopefully you have yours set up as well. There is one more thing that I need you to add, and that's the begin step variable. And all it does is set X to view X view view current, and then Y to view Y view view current plus 195. This will allow the text box to be at the bottom of the screen. Then also, with your let's see, we can put this in here. We need to set up a thing to where you can close out the text box. So if keyboard check ord C, then if instance number of object text is greater than 0, then instance destroy. Or you know what, let's not do this. Let's do if instance exists instead. Object text, then instance destroy. That'll be a lot easier. So I think that might be it. Let me go ahead and double check everything though. Okay, so the only thing I was missing was my alarm event, so I think we're good. Alright, now then, on to chests. Let's go ahead and import our chests. I'm going to put that under a new group here. I'm going to call it environment. Okay, now then. The chests will be under sprites, top down, pretty sure. Yes. So we have two of these here. We have chest 0 and chest 1. Because the tileset package that these come from have one frame of animation on one file and then another frame of animation on another file. So I'm going to have to teach you how to import different animation frames in Enigma using different files, which if you're using Game Maker, it's actually a lot easier to do because the add sprite sheet subimage button for Game Maker, at least the button equivalent to that, actually works properly, but in Enigma it will delete the image that you already have there instead of simply adding another one. So I'm going to have to show you how to do that. So go ahead and open chest 0, and we're going to use the second one from the left on the top row. So all you got to do is change the horizontal cell offset to 1, Go ahead and import that, and then let's zoom in and change it to SPR chest, and then select the subimage and then hit copy, which is the 2 papers. Now this is what I'm talking about, because if I go to add sprite sheet subimages and then try to add the other one, which by the way is in the same position as the first one, so go ahead, these values will be the same basically. If I try to add that, as you can see, it overwrites what's already there. So that's why I had to copy it. Then you hit paste to add that. Now I like to have the closed chest on the left, so go ahead and do that if you want to do it that way. But now, as you can see, it will open and close basically. So this is what we want. We want the animation to be like this, and then we don't have to do anything with the collision, because the way collision is set up right now, it will work properly. So let's go ahead and actually, hold on a minute. Yeah, that looks about right. So anyways, let's go ahead and set up the object. And I'm going to create another group likewise for this one called environments. If I can spell it right. Whichever. And then create resource, object, chest. Give it the sprite. Then in the create event, just like with the hero, we need to set the image speed to 0. Okay, and that is pretty much it for the create event. Now for the step event, we don't need a draw event, so you can go ahead and get rid of that. For the step event, this is what we need. In the step event, this is what we need. We need if distance to object hero is less than, and we'll do 10, I guess. Then if keyboard check pressed ord C, not D, then image index equals 1. And then this is where we call our script, so scr text, then the string will be a variable called chest text. The speed will be 1. The location will be view x view, view current, view y view, view current. Whoopsie. Like that. Plus 195. Then we need a switch case for the drops that you get from it. So let's go ahead and set that up right now. Switch, and we'll call the variable here buffer. So switch buffer, and then case 0, this is where we will get our sword. So global dot get sword equals true, and break. Now let's say that we want to set up again one more for our boomerang, so that's another case and another new global get boomerang equals true, and break. And I think that for now is all we need. So you might be wondering, where are we going to define these two variables? That is going to be in the instance creation code for each instance, and I'll show you how to set that up right now. So go ahead and go into your room and place down a couple of chests within your room. So go ahead and place one on this side and then one on this side. Then you go in this chest on the left here. Then go to instance creation code down here, and it will give you a code editor. In this window, we are going to be defining chest text first. So chest text, that's not, all right. So chest text, and then equals, and then this is where our string will go. So we will do, you got a sword, exclamation point. The hashtag or pound symbols are used as line breaks. So go ahead and type 2 of those there, and then we'll type swing it with Z, period, and then end here. Now that is chest text, and then after that we will define buffer. So buffer equals 0. That is our sword chest done. So now go into this one, go to instance creation code, and then we'll do the same thing. Chest text equals you found a boomerang, 2 line breaks, throw it with X. And then buffer equals 1. And that is our 2 chests. Should be mostly completed now. The only thing that we have to do is define a point for our items to not work until we get them from the chests. So we do that in the object hero. Go to step event, and then down here where we have our actions for our boomerangs and our sword, over here, let's do our sword first. So over here where it says if keyboard check pressed, yada yada yada, and then at the end type and global.getSword equals true, and that's that one done. Then up here you do the same thing, and global.getBoomerang equals true, and that will be that completely finished, hopefully. So let's go ahead and test it. I forgot to set up my font, so go ahead and create resource, and for now we're just going to use Arial. Name it FNT Arial. Set the size to really whatever you want. 12 is a good number though, so you can keep it that way. And then in your script, change the font right here to FNT Arial. Okay, so as it turns out, you actually do need a separate event for your key press. So go ahead and set that up, and it's just this, whatever it is. And that should be it. Oh, and I also changed the font size back to 10, because it was a little bit small at 6. So let's go ahead and take a look at this now to see if it is working properly. It should be, hopefully, at least it is for me. And then we will quickly go over it one more time just to see if yours is the same. So, you got a sword, swing it with Z. It's a little bit off the screen though. Okay, so that's once again due to the font size. I'm going to change it to 8. Alternatively, you can move the text box up a little bit to prevent that, but I don't like the text box being too big or covering too much of the screen, so that's why I'm going to simply change the font size again. This one should be decent. And yeah, that's fine. At least it is for now. If we need to change it later, then we can, but for now that's pretty good. Okay, so now that we have our stuff done, once again, I'm going to go over this. Let's do object chest first. So image speed equals 0, and then you have to define the variables buffer and chest text in the create event. Then in the normal step, we do if distance to object hero is less than 10. So this is basically checking to see if the hero is less than 10 pixels away from this object, for the chest object. Then if it is, then it checks to see if the C button is pressed. Then if that is, then it changes the image index to 1. It calls the script with all of the current arguments intact. The string right here is chest text, and then After that, it initiates a switch for the variable buffer, and in the creation event for each object, it defines chest, text, and buffer. And then the case system is what action you want. Okay, so now let's go over object text one more time, although if you set this up properly, you won't need this. The only thing you'll need to add is the press C. So once you press C, if instance exists, object text, then instance destroy. And like I said, if you set it up properly, oh, and my alarm I put in here, by the way. In the video it shows you putting it in drag and drop out here, but you don't need to do that per se. Or maybe that doesn't actually show it in the video. But anyways, regardless, if you want to add an alarm to where the text box will automatically destroy itself, then you define it in the create event, and then set it to 150 or 300 or however long you want it to be, and then in alarm 0, instance destroy, and that's it. That's pretty much the entire thing right there. So I think that's about it for today's video. If you enjoyed watching, then please leave a like and subscribe and share this with people who you think might want to see this content. So I think that's about it. Thank you all very much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.